Hey guys, welcome back. We just got more craziness on the tariff situation. President Trump, Mr. Strongman himself, is now bending the knee, begging Xi to contact him. Of course, it's not in those type of words because he can't say it like that. But you would think if you have the upper hand, if you have the cards, you would be waiting for people, right? You wouldn't be sending out messages for them to contact you. You'd be like, you come to me. That's not what's happening. Let's go ahead. We'll play the clip from his press secretary just yesterday.
In order to get a TikTok deal done, is that option still on the table?
Look, the president has made his position on China quite clear, although I do have an additional statement that he just shared with me in the Oval Office. The ball is in China's court. China needs to make a deal with us. We don't have to make a deal with them. There's no difference between China and any other country except they are much larger. And China wants what we have, what every country wants, what we have, the American consumer. Or to put it another way, they need our money.
So here you have Trump reaching out, right? He's acting like he has all the cards, but yeah, he's the one that's reaching out. He specifically gives her this message for this press conference so that China will hear it. I mean, come on. If you are in a position of strength, you would never have to do this. You'd be doing exactly what she is doing, which is just sitting there and saying, we are just going to remain strong and you need to respect us, right? You need to come, stop what you're doing and respect us. But otherwise, we're staying strong. Nope. Trump's begging, literally begging for China to get in contact with them. And why wouldn't he be? Right? It's absolutely nuts what's going on with these tariffs. We saw the other day, and it's just completely disjointed plan of his, which is not a plan at all. Trump derails Chinese H20 GPU sales, forcing Nvidia to eat $5.5 billion this quarter. I just did a video on the outlook of Nvidia with Huawei coming up with their new AI supercomputer, and the fact that Trump is just throwing a wrench into global markets, costing them to take this huge loss on their Hopper-based architecture, that they plan on selling to other countries. They just wrote this off right away. They saw no opportunity for this, right? $5.5 billion. Nvidia's growth, it doesn't look as spectacular as it once could have been. A company that was clearly dominating the stage in AI, right? An American company, a strong company. Now our own president is literally destroying it. It makes absolutely no sense, but I don't live in Trump world. Next thing, here we have people like Javier Milei absolutely laughing at America. You just had Scott Bessent go down there. He was talking about how we have renewed ties and stuff like this with Argentina. And the whole word was that Argentina was not going to renew its $5 billion currency swap with China for 12 months. And then this is just out of the Buenos Aires Herald, April 10th, 2025. China's central bank has renewed a U.S. worth $5 billion in U.S. West, obviously not in U.S. dollars. Portion of the currency swap it had with its Chinese counterpart for a year. So they went ahead, they did the currency swap anyways. Why is this? Well, I would imagine that Milei was expecting a little bit of respect from America, maybe even a little bit of help or assistance, but America said no. And so they're like, well, we got to reach out to China. And this is what happens when you make enemies of everyone in the world, right? When you're making enemies of everyone in the world, what are they going to do? They're going to reach out to the next largest economy. And if that economy is like, hey, yeah, we'll build those relationships with you, then you're going to miss out. All Bessent did when he went down there is just remind them that they're supposed to be our lapdogs like Latin America always is, right? And if they're not, we'll overthrow their government. Well, all that's going to start changing now, okay? Because if you look at it here, right, this is in 2021. U.S., most of the exports from Latin America went to the U.S. Most of the imports to Latin America were from the U.S. But look who's creeping up here. 2022, China, imports from China, exports to China. And guess what? This is swayed heavily by Mexico. And what was the NAFTA agreement? Of course, it was called something else under Trump in his first term. I forgot what it was. Biden continued the agreement. It's basically NAFTA. But if we were to look at more modern, right, modern picture of it and say, hey, what if we take Mexico out of it, which is our largest trading partner in Latin America? Look at Brazil. Brazil's exports to China account for 32% of its total exports in 2021. Surpassing the 10% of the U.S. by a considerable margin. Well, what is that considerable margin? 22%. That is a considerable margin. That is a very large margin. Why is this important? Brazil is the single largest country land-wise in Latin America, and is considered to be the most resource-rich country in Latin America. And they are also part of the BRICS payment system, the BRICS nation, they would be called. And so if you look at this, China is going out and they're building allies everywhere else in the world, where we're sitting there and we're abandoning everybody. And if you're just talking about physical landmass, right, because Trump realizes how important these rare earths are. That's why he wants Greenland. Greenland is supposed to be on like a literal gold mine of rare earths. But guess who else has rare earths? A lot of other countries. And we're not building relationships with them. If you just go by landmass, if you just say, okay, imagine that we're looking for these deposits. We would imagine the largest landmass is going to have them. China is a super large landmass. I believe it's right behind America in the size of the country. Okay, Russia is the largest country in the world by landmass. Brazil, I believe, is right behind China, and they are forming an alliance. And so you might say the United States has us, and we sort of had Canada, but now it's like, is Canada going to go along with us anymore? So I do believe that Canada has a larger landmass than we do. And I think that both of us were larger than China. But Russia by far, number one, and then Canada, then us, then China, then Brazil. That's just off the top of my head. But now 3 out of those 5 are partnering up with China leading the way. And it's hard to say if we're even going to be partners with Canada. I mean, Canada might turn to China, as everyone's doing it now. And so, Russia right now, listen to this. This was on Russian state television. I got this from the Midas Touch. It was translated. They used AI to translate it. Nothing goes on here without Putin's knowledge. This is just basically state media. So this is just echoing whatever Putin wants them to say. And just listen to this.
But at the same time, we must understand, in 2 months, he will be 79 years old, and he differs from Biden in that his dementia manifests differently. That is true verbal diarrhea and the need to show his internal audience.
So they're talking about Trump's dementia, right? They're saying that it's different than Biden's. His is through verbal diarrhea.
Every day that he is a super macho. He needs great victories, spectacular ones. We even created a Trump verbal bingo. Yes, today was a great day. I had a brilliant conversation with so-and-so, showed him our coolest weapon that only America has. Thanks to the fact that the president, Trump, I gave him an ultimatum. It's a dire ultimatum. If he doesn't immediately accept my deal terms, things will be very bad for him. Well, most likely it will be good because we'll reach an agreement tomorrow. But if we don't agree, it will be even worse for him because we have super weapons. I am a cool president.
It feels like his speechwriter.
They elected Trump. I'm
now
great.
I understand who writes.
I mean, this is literally how it is. Like, that is an exact perfect representation of how Trump acts. Okay. It's absolutely mind-boggling, right? They got that down to a T. Not that it's difficult, but that's what he does. It's just simply, hey, big talk, big talk. I got this super weapon. What did he say to Yemen, right? The peaceful President Trump, what did he say to Yemen? My bombs are bigger and badder than any other bombs. Yemen's been being bombed forever, including by the U.S. And so just because Trump is ordering the bombs, now they're worse? It makes zero sense, but this is how he talks. This is his personality. They're saying this is his dementia, which it probably is. I mean, it's exaggerated because of his dementia. He is old. He's super old. He's obviously losing it, falling asleep all the time, all over the place. But anyways, we have to live under it, right? MAGA wants to live under this. I don't know why. They love this. And it's just amazing as I watch guys like Bessent. I always say that wrong. I don't know why I want to say Bessent. When I look at Scott Bessent, and now he's literally, willingly hopping in the clown car, just kissing Trump's butt left and right. Somebody who was a serious individual who spent well over a decade of his life dedicated to the bond market and trying to achieve the lowest possible yield for the U.S. so it could restructure its debt. And this madness now, he's still saying, oh, yeah, everything's okay. Everything's okay. And I thought maybe at first that behind the scenes he has to be panicking. But now when I see him at these events and he's laughing and he's literally, he's just down on his knees. And this is Trump's superpower, right? Is that he takes people like Bessent, who were at one time serious people, and he turns them into clowns, absolute abject clowns. And he makes them love it. It's just the weirdest thing. But anyways, that's what I got for you. Hopefully soon we can have some good news. We're all getting pummeled in the market. I don't know if there's any coming back from this. I mean, part of me was like, hey, COVID, everything went down, came roaring back. Is that going to happen this time? I don't know. I'm really starting to have doubts. Let me know what you think about that down below. If you like this type of content, please hit like and subscribe. We're trying to get to 900 subscribers. Thank you.